Welcome to another edition of It's All Relative. I'm Josh.
And I'm Timothy.
And we are back with episode 27.
Yes, sir. 27.
Yeah. We have a special one today. Halloween is quickly approaching, so I wanted today's episode to carry a little of that creepy vibe.
Okay.
You know, just so happens that our topic not only carries that, but also is a top fan favorite topic as well.
Mm-hmm.
Our guest today has agreed to come on and share some of her knowledge, thoughts, opinions, likes, all involving serial killers, as well as helping us discuss the Cookbook Killer, Nathaniel Bar-Jonah. Ladies and gentlemen, Kimberley Bock.
Welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for agreeing to come on. It's All Relative.
Welcome.
Yeah, we appreciate you giving us some of your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Before we start, I just want to ask you both, since Halloween is approaching, let me, do either of you remember what was your best or favorite costume that you guys ever had?
Damn.
Or dressed up as? From being a kid till, from the last time that you guys got one that you can remember?
Oh, definitely.
You know what? I do, actually, because it really pissed my mother off.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, she used to work in an infirmary, taking care of elderly priests.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I came dressed up as a nun for Halloween, which was apparently a terrible idea. She was all embarrassed, and I finally got her, like, I think that was, the best one.
That was the best one?
When I was a kid.
So dressing up as a nun?
Dressing up as a nun and going to like a church, chapel, infirmary that my mom worked in.
Okay.
They didn't like that. It
No,
was
I'm
like
sure
they found it extremely offensive.
Right. Oh, goodness. No, mine's is far more childish. It's Raphael from Ninja Turtles. Yo, I had the size. It's like one of those plastic coverings with the red bandana and the nice little mask and everything. I used to run around all over the place.
Nice.
Yeah, and I had like 3 other friends too that dressed up as the other turtles too.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yes, sir. What about you, bro? You didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, I was trying to think when I was gonna ask you guys. I was trying to think of what I would say too.
Right.
And I can't really remember too many times that I had dressed up like for Halloween and whatnot.
Right.
I'm trying to remember when I was a kid. I remember one time that sticks out, and I think it's just because of where it was or the location.
Where was it?
But it was at my grandmother's house in New Jersey.
Okay.
So somewhere different. And I remember going trick-or-treating and whatnot with my sister and my ma and her. But I remember there was it was like a last-minute thing, right? So there weren't too many. We didn't have anything, so there wasn't too many options. But she had a bunch of these, like, Star Wars costumes and masks and whatnot.
Right.
And, like,
was it like Chewbacca? Was it like the Stormtrooper? Everybody's a Stormtrooper.
Yeah, no. I can't remember all the options that were there. I just remember the one that I don't know, the one that I chose, and it was a Yoda.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Okay, that's
I was
what's up.
young too.
Yeah,
I was trying to remember how old, but I can't recall.
Did you have like any face paint on, like
no, because
it green and everything?
It was
a mask.
the Yoda mask.
Okay,
and then like the little robe thing.
Right, and the green lightsaber. Is it green? Yeah, I think it's green.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even remember if I had that.
Oh, damn. Yoda without a lightsaber. How can you? Yeah.
But, so let's get into some talk about some serial killers.
Sure, let's go.
All right. Kim, what do you think it is that makes so many people get into serial killers?
I think it's intriguing to see like the difference in how these people approach, everyday situations where like the neurotypical person may like walk away from that. Serial killers tend to like need to have some control. Like they're looking for a way to control something in their lives when they've have no control over other,
That they are. Yeah, it's very true. Do you? I guess I have a question I can piggyback off of that. Do you think that it's is it like a morbid curiosity that people get into it, or is it like just a fascination, like how they do it, how they get away with it, or like is it the whole process of it happening and then being chased and eventually caught?
I really don't know. I think it's a matter of like, so much goes into how the mind develops in each and every person. Like, some people may be intrigued by that. Some people will be like, no, I don't want anything to do with that. I mean, I don't even want to watch a show about serial killers because they're afraid of it.
Right.
Or they just don't understand. They don't want to understand, like they're just, how, like,
Well,
It's all right. Yeah.
well, let me ask you real quick then, Kim. What are some contributing factors that make up the mind of a serial killer?
I think it starts in childhood. Like, childhood, definitely. I think most experts agree, like,
Right. They're not
that-
like they like killing roaches or something, or killing animals and things like that.
well, different things.
Okay.
When you have children that tend to play with fire, it was once believed, they're just going to be violent children. Psychological studies now show that children that tend to play with fire as children and start to set fires have suffered some kind of sexual abuse.
Oh,
in
interesting.
childhood.
Okay.
A lot of serial killers share a similar background, and they didn't have a lot of support systems. A lot of them were single children families, where they didn't have, a sibling to bounce ideas off of. You don't.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people fail to realize how much that plays a part in our development. Like having somebody our age or somebody's close to our age
to play off of, to give some of that childhood energy
but
to.
when you have a child that is not being nurtured, not being taught, not being talked to by their parents or caregivers, and they don't have any other siblings in the home,
Very
this
lonely.
this child starts to turn it within. They start to analyze everything's internal. They're not going to speak or reach out to a person anymore about, hey, what's this? They're going to come to their own conclusions because nobody's ever been there to answer their questions before.
Okay. Well, you had a question, bro? My bad.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say that's the loneliness.
Yes, definitely.
Of it all.
Definitely.
And then obviously, then I guess it starts at a young age. So, but that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, it always starts as a childhood inclination. You said that it's more so being lonely, right? And not having friends or anything.
Not having, right.
Or even like good direction in some cases. Right. Where does it come in where they start getting this idea of killing somebody or of hurting somebody?
I think it's not always something that they're even aware of, that they're like looking to kill some. They're just looking to have control over a situation.
Right.
A lot of kids killing an animal, it's usually because the animal frustrated them.
Right.
Not that they deliberately set out to kill the animal. And then they might feel like, wow, I did this.
Exactly.
What else can I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of examples and stories of, where some kids they start out small, you know what I'm saying, and then it grows bigger and bigger. Like they may start out killing, I don't know, like a cat,
right,
and then that shit escalates,
Okay.
something bigger until.
And I'm guessing the big prize is like killing an actual human.
Correct.
Jesus.
So I guess there are examples of that, where start small, but those are signs, typical signs, right?
And I was going to say, sorry. Does it also mean it's a lack of empathy for people and things? Okay.
I think that's another like one of those common traits that most serial killers share: the lack of empathy for another person because all they've had is themselves.
Right.
They've never, been taught to rely on a parent or caregiver or peer or sibling. And when you don't have that, you don't learn how to empathize with others. You don't see that daily. You don't.
Right.
I totally lost me.
No, it's all right. You were saying that you don't see like that help that they get, things of that nature. I was actually gonna make an allusion to what you guys were talking about. What Josh just said. I remember when I was younger, I used to throw rocks at animals. I would never hit them. But there was one instance where I was with my dad and I threw a rock at a squirrel, and it hit the squirrel, and the squirrel like fell from the tree. Like I don't know if he died or whatever. But it was the whole idea of like actually hitting it. Like you would have thought that I would have been like, oh my God, I hit it finally. Or I hit something finally. As soon as I was like, holy shit, I almost like, I could have killed this thing. And it was like, from then on, I stopped throwing rocks at anything.
And
you know what I mean? And I'm guessing essentially a serial killer would probably do the opposite.
Right.
Okay.
Like they may get the thrill of that. Like look at what I,
Right.
They may feel some kind of power.
The control.
Or,
the control. Wow. Okay.
Whereas like, the only animal I ever killed was a cat I hit with my car on Christmas Eve, and I was devastated.
Me too. Jesus.
Oh, that's a horrible time. Christmas Eve.
I was like, who leaves their cat outside on Christmas Eve? Like,
oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that like that kind of empathy and just having kindness and compassion for other living things, you have to see it. You have to learn, like, if you don't have that, like,
that thought process.
Like, yeah. Or like, nurturing environment.
I guess I'll just throw this last question out. Can people that have not gone all the way, can they be redeemed? Can they be helped? Like if they're already, like maybe they got arrested for doing something, but they have a history of like harming animals or something like that. Can they be redeemed and like turned around?
See, I've seen it go both ways, honestly. I've seen people overcome that like mental illness, like various, diagnoses, mental illnesses, what have you. Because they wanted to, because they, sought therapy and medication, and they understand that now this is another medical condition that they have to treat.
Right.
Whereas...
That's right. Take your time. Were you trying to say, well, I was going to ask, were you thinking like the opposite of them seeing like treatment and whatnot? No, it's all right.
You're good.
You're good.
You're good.
Totally lost where I was going.
Well, let me ask. Let's switch this up real quick. We've talked off mic before, but you used to collect some serial killer apparel.
Yes,
I used to collect serial killer apparel.
Okay, so tell us what was it?
It was T-shirts.
T-shirts.
Okay.
And I would wear them to school.
Okay, so how many?
You didn't get in trouble?
How many you used to have?
I had John Wayne Gacy. I had Charles Manson, Ted Bundy.
Okay.
Like pretty much all your classics everyone knows. And I think I just did it for the shock factor. Like, oh my God, she's wearing a serial killer shirt. Like,
did you get that? Did you get that
yes.
shock factor? Okay.
Absolutely.
Did you get in trouble? Like, did the principal say, "Hey, you gotta take that off"? We don't do that here.
Sometimes they made me turn my shirts inside out.
Yeah.
Like I remember I had a Marilyn Manson shirt. Like it said "God is in the TV." They made me turn that inside out.
Oh,
like
they tripping.
Yeah,
Marilyn Manson is the shit.
So by the time I got to the serial killer T-shirts, I was like in high school. I'm like, I gotta turn it inside out.
Do you have a favorite serial killer?
Good question.
A favorite? I don't like. I don't think I have a favorite. I was always intrigued by like the mindset, like what got this person to, you know,
What helped them get to that point?
What? Yeah, exactly. How did they,
Okay.
their life bring them to this point? Like, how did
Okay, so who's do you have an example of someone whose life and the things that they did and the way their brain anything stand out in particular to you, like an individual? You know what I'm saying?
I guess what you're saying is like, does any of them stand out to you as like something that was amazing to follow the most?
Oh, like one more so than the other. I don't think I think they're all interesting from like
various perspectives. Gotcha.
Like with Ted Bundy, I found it wild that he used to like, pose the bodies in the woods, like in different like fashions and
Okay.
Jeffrey Dahmer collect the skins and stuff like that.
Yeesh.
Yeah. It's it's all interesting. It's no two are alike, so it's not like I have a favorite type of serial killer or anything like that. I was just always intrigued by how the mind gets to this point.
Okay.
Like how do people,
how they get like deranged and so
like,
dark. Yeah.
And this is what they seek to do with their lives. Like
Right.
I know that with some of them it's just that trauma and abuse, and I think that
Do you find the story after they get caught to be fascinating? Or as interesting?
like I definitely love hearing the stories. I like from start to finish, like how long they were out, how long they were doing this, and how they got caught. Like that's always interesting to me. I don't know.
Okay.
You got a favorite I don't know, serial killer documentary that you've seen that you would recommend?
I don't even remember the titles, but I've watched every documentary that like comes on TV, like with serial killers or anything.
Okay.
I always liked Charlie Manson, even though some people would say that doesn't really fall under serial killer, so to speak. But
Right
I
on.
like the whole, Manson cult family, like
Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
yes,
Okay. What did you think of it?
I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just asked because it involved the whole Manson story, but not really.
Yeah.
Of what
It was-
could have happened. It's just dope.
Helter Skelter was like pretty. I don't know if you've seen that.
Never seen it.
It was closer to the actual story.
Okay.
Right on. What about you, Tim? You got a favorite doc or anything?
Don't necessarily have a favorite doc per se. Like she was saying, I really find it interesting across the board at how they get like really deranged and everything. I would say Charlie Manson is like really interesting. Actually, we did the previous episode, and I think we talked about Jeffrey Dahmer, and I actually started like looking up stuff on him after that episode. I forgot which episode it was. Same thing with the Golden State Killer too. That one was pretty interesting. I think I saw a documentary on that. But aside from that, I really just like the idea of what happens once they get caught or what happens in court. I find like the fascination around a serial killer to be interesting. Yeah, because I just find it, I don't know, it's so dark and it's not even just random. I'm just wondering why people, like, for example, you, Kim, I just find it interesting that you love serial killers or you love the story behind them, at least. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, I think it's just, I don't know, different kinds of people. Like people are interesting.
Right.
Psychology is something that always interested me. And
Right.
That's why, that's what I followed in college and everything. But yeah, I think that's where it is. It's not that like I have ever glorified what they've done.
Okay, I probably my bad for saying that. I didn't mean to go that far.
No, not at all. But I can understand how people would have that idea, like, oh, you're,
Right.
Basically paying tribute to this, horrible killer.
Right.
Or
Well, there are some like that too. But yeah.
Yes, there are. Like for me, it's just like I just think they're so like just the minds are so interesting.
Right. I will mention this: the Golden State Killer that we had Melissa on, and she said the exact same thing that you said. She said that it was a lot of the psychology behind it, how they start and they get deranged, and then like after how they continue to mystify people despite being caught. You know what I mean? So I guess that was a little bit of where I was going. I guess that's a gray area. There's some that get obsessed, and then there's some that just like the psychology behind it all. Yeah. Yeah,
I wouldn't say I like really got obsessed with the serial killers. I was just I found it interesting. Like, oh, why did he do that? Like,
right.
What would bring a person to go on,
A
choose
killing
this
spree.
life?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask both of you, all right?
Sure.
Nowadays, with technology, okay, would it make it too difficult for someone to be a serial killer? I mean, we don't often hear of serial killers nowadays very often. They're always ones that have happened in the past.
Right.
I mean, did everyone just stop? People stop killing people?
No,
they just haven't been found yet.
That's very true. We're still looking for your boy from last episode.
Right. Or has technology made it now extremely difficult for people to get away with a lot of the things that they did? You know what I'm saying?
Well, bro, I love technology, and I will have to say that it has made it far more difficult because as soon as you do the first killing, you basically have to make it not be something that can be seen. Like they have to find out the killing after the fact if they really want to get away with it. If you kill somebody and somebody reports it or something happened, they already like chasing you like within days. So it's kind of interesting that if somebody's going to kill one person and the chase is on, right? Can they get to another one is what I was going to say. And can they get to a third one if that's possible before they get caught?
All right. I was also looking at it from the whole like forensic point of view too.
Yeah,
like,
it's
very
true.
difficult to,
Right.
I mean, fingerprints, blood, everything.
Right.
It's very difficult now. Like I said, once again, with technology. Plug that shit into a computer, look way back years and years and years, find, shit comes up, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
then now, that makes it, I feel like, very difficult.
Right.
So,
Well, I think for certain targets, like, there are plenty of people that still live lives like, they don't have a computer in their house. They don't use a cell phone.
That's true too. Yeah.
How many times you hear stories like people got into this hut in, middle of nowhere that nobody's checking and, there was somebody dead inside or,
Right.
I think the reason you don't hear about anything, they haven't been found yet. I don't think people stop killing at all.
Okay.
I think there's still plenty of serial killers out there. It's just.
Where would that be? Would that be in a place where it's just like a remote area where there is no, like you were saying, cell phones or computers or any like access to the world, the outside world?
Yeah, not everybody lives in a city. Like not everybody lives, there's still a lot of farmland and like lots of people like living in the woods.
That's very true.
There's lots of people in this country that still homeschool their children in the mountains.
oh shit.
Yeah.
It's
That's
true.
scary.
Yeah. It's crazy. Imagine being born and dying on a mountain. It's crazy.
And I've met people in New York like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like far up north in New York?
Claro, I think.
Okay.
There's this kid, he wound up in non-secure youth detention facility. Can't exactly remember what he did in the mountains in the middle of nowhere in Cairo, New York. He never left the mountains. Like, only the friggin' store was at the bottom of the mountain.
Right. That was his only thing.
And that was his only thing. He went there once a week, and just for some reason he got into trouble, and he was in, juvenile detention.
What
Whatever.
the hell?
But I'm like, what did he do? He lives on a mountain. He doesn't have a phone. He has a well. There's no running water. There's still people that live like that.
Right. Well, I hear about it. I'm starting to hear about it more now from the Amish people that live over there. Like they be getting into some crimes themselves too. And they have like, it's kind of crazy, man. Like these people who get into crimes. It's a reminder that people are human, because they'll say that they're cut off and they're Christian and all of this, and then you hear like all these stories. So.
Bro, you ever seen Amish Mafia?
Yes, exactly. So,
well, that shit's wild. I'm just trying to think and picture these people living in the woods and
for
shit.
real.
Oh man,
and getting into trouble, getting sent to a detention facility.
What kind of trouble could you get in living in a mountain, like secluded and whatnot? Like what kind of shit, you know what I'm saying? Would you have to do?
I would love to think like fire, maybe like arson, they burning stuff or something. I don't know. Even burning stuff in the middle of nowhere, no one really cares if you're not like trying to be destructive. You know what I mean?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Be out in the woods like that. So
yeah.
But all right. Have either of you guys heard of the name Nathaniel Bar-Jonah, a.k.a. the Cookbook Killer?
Yes.
Yes?
No.
Okay. So this serial killer is one that stood out to me from the first time I ever heard about him, simply for the fact that he was different from what usually comes to mind when you think or hear serial killer, you know? What would be a few things that you guys think of, like when the title serial killer is mentioned? What comes to mind? What's the first thing?
Killing multiple.
Yeah, many victims.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right on.
And getting away with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those who are squeamish, I would just say hold on, because our serial killer that we're discussing today is all about cannibalism and children.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, which makes it different already, right?
100% different. I don't know if I want to go through it.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about the Cookbook Killer.
Sure.
Over the course of his career, he was responsible for abduction, assaults, molestations, murders, and cannibalism, and all of his victims were children.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What's the highest age that they know? Is it like 50, up to 15, teenager? Or is it younger?
No, I think the age gap ranged from, I know there were young ones, and I believe teens as well.
Right. Oh, this is a horrible dude.
Yeah,
man.
like I can't even wrap my mind around that. Like he's one of the tough ones for me to, because it's so deranged.
Yeah, that's something else. Cannibalism too?
Yeah, bro, it gets deep.
And then like he like raped them before he ate them and stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Are you for real?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, he did.
My goodness.
We'll get into some of the examples or stories of some of the things that he did, but yeah, it was some tough stuff, man. This guy was like that's why I say he was very different than your typical serial killer.
Okay.
All right. So he was born February 15th, 1957 in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Okay.
All right. His birth name was David Paul Brown. All right. By the time he reached the age of 7, he started to show concerning signs, which we had touched on earlier.
Okay.
We had said that, right? Serial killers, I mean, usually you can start seeing signs
early childhood.
Sure.
Right. Okay. So, in 1964, Nathaniel Bar-Jonah talked a 5-year-old neighbor girl into his basement to play with his Ouija board.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Okay.
He ended up on top of her, strangling her. Okay. His mother ends up catching them and saves the girl's life.
Jesus Christ.
Now, what Nathaniel Bar-Jonah, what he does is he ends up telling people that the Ouija board made him do that. And that was basically it.
Yeah.
No
that's
repercussions.
bullshit.
Yeah.
No repercussions whatsoever?
No.
Where the fuck is this? No repercussions.
I mean, he's what I don't know. It didn't specify how
say?
old he was, but he had gotten a 5-year-old, so it's like
Okay.
somewhere around that age.
And then trying to
Young.
plead insanity. You ain't crazy. You know what you're doing.
I mean, but he's still a child.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. Still, even so.
First off, a child that young
Mhm.
playing with an Ouija board is a little weird,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
right?
Right.
But that's what he ended up telling people, and like we said, no repercussions. So it was said by his teachers that he would sit in class and pick his scabs and eat them.
Okay. Typical child behavior.
Wait, what the hell?
Is it though? I don't think it is.
Yeah,
For
wait,
I
me,
mean-
when I grew up, people used to do that shit.
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, wait,
Yeah.
wait. So, hold on.
Yeah, man. I used to know, not me, but I used to know kids who did that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to our childhood days in school. There was always that one weird kid in class, right?
Right.
But usually that was the finger in the nose booger
Boogers,
eater,
yeah, right,
you know,
right.
like
No.
bro. You
Scabs.
actually were talking about
Yes, bro.
somebody that.
Like the taste of blood.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
horrible.
and pus. That shit is nasty. I didn't
Oh,
say
what the hell?
Bro, my bad. I didn't want to throw off the entire show. But I'm just saying, yeah, I knew a couple people who did that.
What about that's horrible.
Yeah.
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 What about you, Kim?
I hate the taste of smell of blood. Like, ugh.
Right, there you go. Me too.
You didn't have no kids in your class that ate their scabs that you can recall?
No. I mean, they cut themselves, but they didn't eat their
They cut-
scabs.
Wow. Okay.
Oh man, that's weird. Actually,
Let's move.
Yeah,
let's
it's like,
move
yeah.
forward. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
yeah. Well, this behavior, obviously, it disrupted the class when he was
Obviously.
in school. So,
I can imagine.
but he did that scabby and stuff his whole life because, later on. When he spent time in jail, prison guards spoke on how they would watch him do this in his cell, right?
It's crazy.
And they asked him, like, why? Asked him, why he does this, and his answer, right, was that it was the fascination of eating flesh.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Get him
Right.
out of here.
I was about to say, like, maybe he, subconsciously, needed iron or something like that, But, no, he straight up, wants flesh. Yeah.
I would have never thought someone would have responded like that.
I'm sorry.
No, that's funny.
Pass.
Right?
That's gross.
Definitely something not right in the head. But all right, let's jump ahead a few years. All
Okay.
right, he's now 12.
Okay.
Okay, so 12 years old. He gets a 6-year-old boy to go with him to a remote area, and then he sexually abuses the kid. There were reports that Nathaniel Bar-Jonah tried to run a child over with a lawnmower.
Jesus. At 11, you said, or 12?
12.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, definite warning signs. Especially, I've never seen a child try to run somebody over.
You could put the child away right now. Yeah. Would have solved the issue. Jesus.
Yeah, and this is all pre-adolescent years.
Right.
Definitely warning signs.
Yeah.
Right? You would think.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm why was he never placed in psychiatric care or
Yeah, that's
under
definitely-
evaluation, because those are just definitely a lot of red flags right there.
Correct.
100%.
Well, once again, like we touched on, he did come from a broken home. All right.
It's a hell
I
of a
don't think-
broken home to be thinking like that.
Well, everything that we had touched on earlier, I think he was also I don't know if you can call him a victim, but he was an example of a loner, somebody that that showed, didn't have maybe the proper love, so therefore he doesn't have much empathy.
Right. I struggle to wonder if, I'm not sure if you have it written down, did he actually kill any animals in life when he was a kid? Is there any reports of him doing that?
I don't have any of that written down, but
Okay.
I mean, I would bet good money,
Right.
that there were definitely times and examples, I'm sure, because
Okay.
like we had said, it all starts at a young age.
Yeah, with that predilection. Yeah.
Although I don't know, because a lot of these examples that we had just went through, excuse me, he was already very young, and he was already
at 11.
already strangling people or kids and
with the intent to kill
and sexually abusing them.
Jesus,
you know what I'm saying? So definitely something weird.
Oh yeah, that you don't hear that often at all. Everyone's playing video games or outside or talking about the girl that they like next door. They're not talking about killing people or even choking someone out or even thinking about sex at that age. So
right,
yeah,
it's a little odd. And this is all back in the 60s and 70s. You know, this is when this started to happen, which is, like we said, definite warning signs, definite issues. Like, where were the parents? I do know when I had seen things about, like, the teachers and whatnot, like in school, like the teachers were the ones that obviously pointed out, like, and said and recognized that, yo, this kid's got an issue or a problem.
Right. Yeah, eating his skin. Yeah, he got it. Yeah.
But they treated it more along the lines of like, just all right, let me get this kid out of here so he's somebody else's problem.
Oh,
and
that's
so
sad.
he fell into that rotation.
Right.
So, but all right. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
But before we do, we want to remind everyone to please find us on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, and Google. And by using the platform of your choice, please subscribe, follow, share, comment. If you're using Apple, please take a quick second to leave a quick review.
Please.
Click that 5-star rating. And with that being said, we'll be right back.
All right.
Welcome back to It's All Relative. Still with us in studio, Kimberley Bock. So let's get back to Nathaniel Bar-Jonah.
Okay.
All right. Let's jump forward to the age of 18.
Okay.
All right. What he's doing right now is he is dressing up his police officers to get younger children to trust him so he can abduct them.
Right.
All right. Now, what he does is he kidnaps an 8-year-old boy named Richard O'Connor.
Okay.
Okay. He told Richard he was looking for a kid who was late for school. Excuse me. Just so happened Richard was running late for school, so he got in the car.
Got in the car with him.
All right. Bar-Jonah ends up driving to the woods, climbs in the back seat, makes the kid take his clothes off, and started to strangle and sexually abuse
Jesus
him.
Christ.
Yeah. What he would do is he would strangle Richard to the point where he fades out.
Right.
Okay. And then wakes him up and then does it all over.
It's fucking crazy still, man. That shit is nonsense.
That's so twisted.
Yeah. And had to make sure that he was naked and everything too.
Well, yeah, he's sexually abusing him.
Right.
He's doing so.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but definitely twisted to have to, to make someone go through that, but then do it all over again.
Right.
You know
Just as they're
saying?
about to pass out and everything.
Yeah, it's horrible. Luckily, a neighbor had seen Richard get into the car with Bar-Jonah. Okay, so they called the police. By the time the police tracked the car down, Richard was already bloodied and near death.
Holy shit.
But still alive. Okay. Bar-Jonah claims that he blacked out and doesn't remember anything.
All right, my guy.
All right. He does get arrested, but he gets 1 year supervised probation.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Yeah. Is that Kim, I wanted to ask you a question. Is that typically something that you see in other cases?
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes, I would say for like a lot of things, yeah, you don't really see it? Or you do. You see like people getting off with things all the time like, based on, like I don't understand how it happens. I don't understand how people like turn a blind eye to something like,
Right.
you know, he really, like, he could have left, this kid could have died.
Also, he's
So,
bloodied. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't understand how you just get a year of probation for
Yeah.
something like that.
Between the sexual abuse, I'm sure they knew that he was choking this kid out, and
I want to know
All of
why they didn't hold him. There were so many opportunities to,
to snatch him up.
yeah, and I don't know what the laws are like in Massachusetts, or Connecticut,
Right.
even, but I know,
No,
like,
Massachusetts is fucking up though. Either way.
yeah, no,
Whether it's now
definitely.
or back then.
But like, there's just no place for this. For like,
Right.
like, I don't know what where their thoughts are on that. Like, do they believe that he's crazy and he doesn't belong in prison?
Mm-hmm.
And then what about psychiatric care? Like,
Right.
you know, in New York State, they have shut down most psychiatric hospitals. Like, you
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
Wasaic, like, you know, Hudson River.
Yeah, we talked about that in a previous episode. Yeah.
So a lot of these places are closing, and there's simply, like, I think they're just letting them out. I know that I see from the field in which I work in,
Mm-hmm.
we have people from the state that absolutely belong in psychiatric care facilities.
Okay.
You know, where they do pose a threat to
Right.
people in society.
Do you think
And
they
they-
have the inclinations to be like another serial killer if they allow?
Some of them absolutely, because they aren't disabled, like, you know, guys with like the guys I have with cerebral palsy. However, they are being put in the same houses. So how do you have this, you know, pretty functional schizophrenic, you know,
Right.
placed in a home with somebody who, you know, has cerebral palsy?
Right. They can't control themselves.
because now it's being just classified as another disability. You know.
That's terrible, especially for New York. Yeah.
So, like, that's the only thing I can think of is, like, maybe they're tossing it up as a psych case and not following through with it, you know, criminally.
With criminal, yeah. I have seen a lot. I know for me personally as well. Before I was like diagnosed with ADHD, I was like really hyperactive, and back then, at least in Georgia, they put me in like a few special needs classes and everything. And I was like with people that were, you know, either like schizophrenic with bipolar kids and with kids that also had like cerebral palsy or something else. They just lumped us all in.
Right.
And after a while, you know, I had to like speak to them because they would make you stay in the class for whatever. And it took like maybe 2 or 3 months before I had to talk to the principal and everything. Like, look, we came to the conclusion that I had ADHD, but they were just lumping everybody into the same, like,
into the same classroom,
class or
because-
session, right?
regardless of special. Well, the education system, like public schools, they have separated that out. They have spectrum.
Okay, that's good.
Like nowadays, like my 14-year-old daughter has Asperger's. She
Okay.
has always been in a spectrum-based classroom.
Ah, okay. Good
My
for them,
son
then.
has ADHD, and he's always been in a classroom setting with, you know, smaller classroom setting than typical,
Right.
like 20, 30 students.
Right.
He's with like 12 other boys that have the
Perfect.
same, you know. So the schools are, you know, geared to supporting. A lot of them are like larger districts, like our district here, Arlington, is really good about that.
Good.
Their programs, you know, they really support individuals. Years ago, yes, they absolutely grouped everybody together.
Jesus.
They had, you know,
Do you think Arlington's doing a good job of catching kids with this type of inclination of being like a serial killer or like taking down that dark path? Have you seen any of that normally?
I actually have seen, like, worked with most of the districts in this county. And with regards to Arlington is very proactive in getting the students the help that they need. Like I know that they have like gone forward and you know, provided services to families, you know, that these kids may benefit from.
That's good.
There's, other districts that they really, they don't do that.
They be slacking. Yeah.
really bad.
And I find out that it's all over all over the U.S. Especially if you go to the South, you get to see that a lot, where they are very lax, or they still have those policies where they're lumping kids together and stuff. Yeah.
Or they're not going to school.
But they're not going to school. That's a big thing too.
There's a lot of places down south where if you have a child with cerebral palsy that's nonverbal and confined to a wheelchair, they'll simply tell you that there's no classroom setting for your child. Your child could sit in that classroom with,
everybody else.
But there's not going to be a program in place for that child.
Damn.
That's where New York is really great. We have day programs for adults with disabilities that can't enter the workforce, so that they can socialize with others, so that they're not isolated.
Okay, that's good.
That's why I love what I do.
It's wonderful. But let's bring it back to the actual story.
Yes.
Yeah, we just want to. But that was good for New York. Shout outs to New York for getting better at it, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the right direction.
Yes, sir.
For sure. But so Bar-Jonah's 1 year supervised probation.
Okay.
This took place in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Okay. While he was on probation, he jumps over to Connecticut and he does the same thing to a 9-year-old girl. All right. He gets her in the car and does to her what he did to Richard.
Jesus.
Okay. But while he was strangling her, she started to convulse and throw up. Mm-hmm. So what he does is he just threw her out of the car and drove away. All right. He ends up getting caught shortly after, but Connecticut police don't know he's on probation.
Okay.
So once again, at this time, the lack of technology, I guess police forces and whatnot don't from state to state don't have any way of knowing
what's going on.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's scary, man. You can see how there's a lot of serial killers doing stuff like that.
Yeah, especially back then. That's what I'm saying. It's very easy to jump borders, depending on where you live, all around and
kill somebody.
Crimes.
Right.
Yeah, which is, maybe beneficial now with technology.
Oh yeah, ain't no fucking way you can do that shit.
But he ends up getting released.
Okay.
Because once again, the Connecticut police don't know that he's on probation.
Right.
So.
And even then, that's crazy too. Letting this man out. Did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So we move forward to 1977. We jump back to Massachusetts. Okay. He's playing cop again. He arrests 2 boys at a movie theater. All right. One's named Billy and one's named Alan. Now, what Bar-Jonah does is he handcuffs the 2 boys. He drives them out to the woods. He gets them out the car. He separates them. And then he starts burning them with cigarettes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, strangling them. He even then decides to sit on one of the boys.
It's fucking crazy sitting on kids, man.
Yeah, and at this point, once again, we haven't mentioned anything about his appearance and whatnot, but he weighs 350 pounds. All right, so a big man.
Right. Rolling on kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And choking them out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Which is very awkward, right? Let's talk about that. I'm willing to bet good money you guys have never heard of a serial killer or even a killer individual, somebody who sits on children.
Right. No, never heard of that shit.
Right? That's odd or a huge red flag warning signs. Like, it's not normal.
No.
So he straight up tried to crush this kid, But Alan, one of the boys, what he does is he ends up playing dead in hopes that Bar-Jonah will leave him alone. And he does. He ends up going back to Billy. All right. And while he does this, Alan is able to run away and call the authorities.
Damn.
Okay.
Get that kid out of here. Good for him.
Yeah.
What happened to Billy, though?
Well, a police chase ensues. Okay. Bar-Jonah ends up crashing his car, and the police end up getting Billy out of the trunk.
Jesus Christ.
So he's bruised, battered, still alive, but, we see that Bar-Jonah had thrown him in the car.
Right. Like a sack of meat.
In the trunk,
right.
Yeah. And then this was after all the previous stuff that he had to go through. You know, getting burned by cigarettes, strangled,
Right.
all that other stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
So he gets arrested. Okay, and this was his third time
Mm-hmm.
now, and he actually gets convicted. He gets 18 years in prison.
Okay.
Okay, you guys think that's fair?
Yeah, finally. Shit.
Yeah.
Should have gave him 36.
Longer, yeah.
For real.
Okay. Well, a judge lets him out after 14 years. All right.
Which is fucking crazy.
Right.
He even do the full 18.
No, he ends up saying that Bar-Jonah is not really a threat to society.
This man is a menace to society. Sitting on kids and shit. Come on now.
Seriously.
Yeah. The judge made a bad
The
bad
worst. Yeah, for real.
Bad call.
That 1992, was it 91 call? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this was 91. He was
Crazy.
released.
I mean, I know the police was wild back then, but yo, those judges, they messing up, man. In 1990, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, at this point, this is when Nathaniel Bar-Jonah changes his name from David Paul Brown, which
Okay.
was the name that he was using and going by this whole previous time.
Right.
But he changed it now to Nathaniel Bar-Jonah. A month after his release, all right, he sees a 7-year-old boy alone in a car.
Mm-hmm.
Bar-Jonah opens the car door and sits on top of the boy.
Just sits on him.
Just sits on him and tries to suffocate him.
So he just opened the door and just sat on a random ass kid.
Yeah. Crazy. The boy's mother sees this and runs to his rescue. All right. Bar-Jonah takes off. Police catch him. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Bar-Jonah's excuse is, and I quote, he had said that he was just trying to get out of the rain.
And you couldn't find a tree or like a building to stand under. You had to open somebody's car door
I don't know. Wild excuse.
and sit on the kid.
Yeah.
You couldn't sit next to the kid? Yo, that guy has problems, boy. He just be lying too. It's a compulsive liar, this guy.
Yeah, something definitely weird. Like, what would you do if you saw some stranger, some random guy just open up a car door and then just sit on top of a child?
Chase after him and like hit him with the yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Right. Exactly. What are you doing? Get the fuck off my kid. That type of shit. Yeah.
So the court decides that they will drop all the charges on Bar-Jonah
Wow.
if he just moves out of the state. All right. And this is in Massachusetts. So ultimately what they're doing is once again just passing the problem on to someone else.
Right.
Bro, just we'll clear everything. Just get
go
out
to
of
New
here.
York. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
For real.
So
That's crazy.
you guys agree with that decision?
No.
You think that was smart?
No.
Yo, Massachusetts got some moronic people over there. I'm sorry. Shout outs to Massachusetts, but yo, this dude got caught once already choking out a kid, and he goes away and he comes back and he sits on another kid. And they didn't even like put the two together. Do they not have a record on this man for choking out somebody earlier?
Well, I'm sure now they do.
Oh, of
because
course.
he was in prison. But yeah, even so. But he ends up moving to Great Falls, Montana.
Okay.
All right, and this is where his mother lived. All right. The first month of living in Montana, he gets accused of molesting another child that he was babysitting. All right.
This man cannot give this shit up. It's crazy.
Yeah, very, very odd, very strange. But even so, like we had mentioned, if anyone hasn't seen what Nathaniel Bar-Jonah looks like, if you were to look, he's not a typical babysitter.
No. He's a fat ass dude that's just randomly taking care of kids and sitting on them and molesting them.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So he claims his innocence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what he says is that if he had done this, that the kid would be dead. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, we see he ends up getting away with it. All right. Now, things change a little. This
Okay.
is probably one example or one of the most popular stories about him
Okay.
or incidences involving him. So 1996.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a 10-year-old boy named Zachary Ramsey. All right, he leaves school, heading home. He was wearing a blue jean jacket,
Mm-hmm.
a football jersey with his name on the back.
Okay.
I believe it said Zachary.
All right.
Blue jeans and tennis shoes. Okay, the wardrobe is a little important.
Right. Sounds like varsity or something like that.
Yeah. So, a family in Zach's route from school to home said that they saw a white four-door sedan following and trying to hit him. All right.
The fuck?
Right, which goes back. Let's go back to when he was younger. There were reports where he was trying to run kids over with a lawnmower.
Right.
So another weird thing, he has, I don't know, maybe an infatuation with running people over.
Right.
Okay. So someone saw Zach go into an alley, all right, and quote, a large man in a white sedan was following him, and that was the last time anyone has ever seen Zachary Ramsey.
Okay.
Okay. He was legally declared dead in 2011.
In 2011, legally declared dead.
Yeah.
They like never found his remains, or
No.
Okay.
That's why he went missing. That
Oh,
no
Jesus
one ever
Christ.
saw him. But his parents, though, still think he's alive.
Okay.
All right.
Where is he at?
This was 2011. So a little quick backstory on Zachary. In Montana, right, where they're at, it's a very small town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Zachary was a biracial child.
Mm.
So stands out a little more.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There were reports on surrounding states near Montana that he was seen.
Okay.
That people had seen him. But no one could ever prove that, and he still has never been found. So his parents still believe that he's alive, but
I don't know about that. If he's still alive, I mean, does he hate his parents? Does he not want his parents to be happy? He would have showed up.
yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much that's
yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
No, he's gone. Yeah.
But once again, he was legally declared dead in 2011.
Right.
So later on, when Bar-Jonah had his place searched, right,
Mm.
there was a blue jean jacket, tennis shoes, and blue jeans that were all found, but no football jersey.
Okay.
But pretty much more than 50% of the kid's wardrobe
Was
that he
there?
was wearing the last time he was seen.
Right.
Okay. Now, police, when they had searched Bar-Jonah's house and whatnot, they found a list of names. All right. And it was all believed to be children that he had abused.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right, and there were hundreds of names on this list. One one thing that they found, right, was on this list was they found the name Zachary Ramsey. And beside his name, it said died.
Oh shit.
Okay.
So he was keeping a list or something?
Yeah, it was a list of every kid assumed that he had abused or,
And this was that dude keeping that list.
yeah, he kept records.
Is Kim, is that something that they do? Is that something that's typical? Or?
I mean, trophies, sure, but I don't, not like record keeping like that.
Yeah.
Typically, like that would be
Like
that's-
keeping
that-
Ugh.
Yeah, that's uncommon for serial killers. I don't think I've.
Okay.
I mean, they typically like to keep some kind of trophy.
Okay.
Like that's common enough, but like actual documents, like
Like records and stuff in
Records,
his own
yeah.
writing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a
else.
little different because, like you mentioned, most serial killers, they do maybe collect body parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some-
Jesus.
They like skin,
Right.
Yeah, and
or
Oh my
something
gosh.
something personal to the victim.
Uh-huh.
maybe jewelry, maybe something that
There
they
was
were
one
wearing.
guy that collected shoes of his victims,
Okay.
Yeah.
and he kept them in like his shed, like, and they found like all these women's shoes in his shed.
Jesus.
Yeah.
See, they all collect some, like you said, some
Yeah.
form of trophy.
Right. He was collecting names.
So, yeah, and this dude just kept lists.
Jesus.
But,
It'd be so much stuff like hundreds of names he's in. Like, that's
Right.
probably a lot more than, yeah.
But he's basically also giving himself away. It's like, hey, I killed this many. If the police see this, this is how many I've killed. And he wrote died beside it instead of killed or anything like that.
Yeah, well, one
Dude's
thing
sadistic.
probably, I mean, when he was probably keeping track of all this stuff, he probably never thought that he
Right.
would get caught or
Right,
soon
right, right.
because he's been able to avoid police his
By
whole
lying.
life.
By lying.
And he always got away with that.
Jesus
Like, he
Christ.
never really, yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, you
You
get
good.
it.
You
That's
good.
all right.
But let's get back to something else, right? That police found. This is where it gets a little interesting.
Okay.
So not only did the police find the list, they also found a coded notebook.
Mm.
All right, which didn't take them long. They were quickly able to decode, but what they found was shocking. All right, they found recipes that described torturing and eating children.
Jesus Christ.
All right, there were recipes that were entitled French fried kid,
What the fuck?
little boy stew,
Oh my God.
little boy pot pie,
I don't know about it.
and lunch served on the patio with roasted kid.
Who the fuck wrote this?
He did.
He did.
He wrote that?
Yeah.
Oh my
These
God.
are, yeah.
Okay, I thought somebody else wrote it and he was, oh my, this is even worse.
No, bro, this is all him. This
Fucking
is
A.
he made a cookbook or a notebook of recipes that were in detail of describing what he did to torture and kill these kids and eat them. And these were the recipes. So all the recipes were for cooking children.
Wow.
All right.
Hence the cannibalism. Oh my God.
Yeah, pretty sick.
Oh no.
But cops also found a meat grinder that had human hair in it.
Wow.
Okay. All signs, telling signs of, yes,
Right.
cannibalism for sure. Let me see.
Do we know the people that he ate by any chance? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I believe that there were, I mean, like I said, he had kept records
Uh-huh.
and everything, so I'm sure. I don't know if he had the names of these, of like maybe the people that he cooked,
Mm-hmm.
right? But all the recipes that he had made were typical ingredients, right? But the meat in each recipe was obviously human.
Right.
Okay. Police were able to find out that after Zachary went missing, that Nathaniel Bar-Jonah didn't go grocery shopping for a month.
Oh, there you fucking go. There it is.
That's pretty
Fucking-
sick.
That is
Right?
the grossest thing I've ever
Oh
heard.
my.
Man, it's sick, man.
All right. His neighbors reported that he was having a lot of cookouts at this time.
Oh, wow.
And it was said that some of the meat that was being served tasted a little off. All right.
Fuck, man. Oh, no. No, we have to stop the pod. I'm done already.
So you guys
Jesus Christ.
understand what's going on or
Yeah.
following.
Yeah.
He's throwing all these cookouts for his neighbors, and he's serving
Kids to everybody.
kids to his neighbors. Fucking
Fucking
nasty.
A, man.
Yeah. So, yep, his neighbors were unknowingly eating human flesh.
Right.
Okay. Some food that would be was commonly served at these cookouts were burgers, spaghetti, chili,
What the fuck?
meat pies, and casseroles. All right. Now, when neighbors said the meat tasted funny, Nathaniel Bar-Jonah had said that he had gone deer hunting and used deer meat.
No, deer meat don't taste. I wouldn't know, but still, deer meat, like if it spoils, that's it. You know, so you can't even lie about that.
John, have you eaten deer meat before? Yeah.
Yes, there's definitely a specific taste
Yeah, right.
to it. You'll know it's venison. Like it has a very distinct.
Very distinct.
But not like a human.
Don't know. Never had human.
Never had
Right.
human. Right.
Ugh. But oddly enough, the weird thing about this is that Nathaniel Bar-Jonah didn't own a hunting rifle or have a hunting license.
Right.
Okay. One woman told Nathaniel Bar-Jonah that the meat was repulsive right? And it was later reported, though, that this woman's son was a victim of abuse by Nathaniel Bar-Jonah.
Nathaniel, yep.
So I just got a question for you guys. Like, why aren't these parents realizing their kids shouldn't be around this man?
Right, especially
there's so many
abuse.
issues.
Right.
It's weird. You wouldn't think it's odd, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you were at this cookout or at these cookouts, the food's weird.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you would just trust, like, he seems like a weird guy. You would trust your kids with this dude?
No. We had a neighborhood watch out there. Get the sticks and bats ready. We gotta like tune this guy up. He's weird, man. Come on.
Yeah. He finally gets arrested in 1999. But what he gets arrested for was, once again, impersonating a police officer. All right. He was outside of school with 2 cans of pepper spray, a fake gun, a fake badge, but a real stun gun.
Okay.
Which was believed that he had used on previous encounters. So police end up searching his mother's house at this time, right? And buried under the concrete porch were 21 bone fragments that seemed to come from multiple children. Jesus. So, under Ma's house in Montana.
Cement.
Yeah.
All right. So now he's just like completely going off the rails. He's to the point where killing is not enough. He's got to like consume it and give it to other people, serve it up. You know, like the level of depravity on that's crazy.
Right, you want to talk about mind or the shit that
Right.
goes on in your mind. Kim, what would cause somebody, or what do you think what kind of damage makes somebody
I
want
have
to
no idea
serve?
with this individual. Like, I have no, like, and maybe that's why I never, like, you know, like, some of the serial killers, I was like, I would look and seek out their story and everything. With him, you know, right off the bat, I was so, like, you know, put out, like, just disgusted by.
Right.
So I never, like, really, you know, went any further, like, looking into him. But yeah, I'd still be interested to know. But like, I don't know. I don't know what his problem is.
No, I'm happy the man is dead.
Yeah,
That's what
Doing
I'm
that
saying,
shit.
though. He definitely breaks that typical stereotype of serial killer.
Absolutely.
He's
Right.
totally different, which makes him so interesting and so weird. I mean, cannibalism is a disgusting thing in general,
Yeah.
but makes this whole story somewhat interesting, right?
Right,
like
right.
that.
yeah.
Somebody
It's
actually,
not common.
It's not common. That's correct.
It's really not common.
Okay.
So he finally gets charged with kidnapping, sexually assaulting, and aggravating assaulting 3 children. That's it. This whole time, his whole career, his whole span. That's what he gets charged for. It was unable to prove that he killed anyone. All right, but I mean,
Because he ate
He
the
had-
evidence.
Right. You're for real. Grinded it up and everything.
yeah. Well, and once again, he had lists of all these
Jesus.
people. Where are all these people? You know. So ultimately, he was sentenced to 130 years behind bars.
Good. That's what it should have been in
Yep.
fucking,
Right.
what is that, 1977 or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was found dead in prison in 2008. Anyone want to guess how?
Heart attack.
Yes,
No.
by a heart attack. Which is kind of, let me get your guys' opinion. This may be a little more personal, but how do you guys feel about, we see a lot of this happen where people who do really sadistic things, or just really, really messed up shit, they end up going to prison, right? And they finish out their life in prison, but they end up usually dying peacefully
right.
in prison. How
Right.
do you think that was justice served, or do you think, like, damn, like, after committing all these crimes, they,
Right.
you know, like, what's your guys' opinion on that?
Well, in one way, I find it good. They're not on the streets. They are in prison. They are definitely somewhere where they can be contained. But I feel like if it was really something serious, he would probably have been beaten to death or killed. Because especially when it comes to kids, I've known quite a number of people who have reformed and gotten out of prison. They do not treat people who abuse kids very kindly in prison.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. When people go to prison for
pedophilia, especially.
sexually abusing kids or whatnot,
Right.
they usually don't last long at all.
No.
And they're usually treated or murdered. Bad shit happens to them.
A lot of bad shit happens to him, right?
But nothing happened to him.
That's crazy. Maybe he got like separate, like he was separated out or something. I don't know.
Which is very true.
Yeah.
That's a good possibility. I'm not too sure on that, but I mean, somebody like him, when people got the word, about him, I guarantee he probably had to have been some form of,
of course,
solitude or whatnot,
right?
because
So they won't beat the shit out of him.
People would have definitely killed him.
Absolutely.
And that would have been justice served too, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Mm-hmm. How do you feel, Kim?
I mean, I feel the same. Like he
Yeah,
and it's like there's just no words.
Right. There's really none.
There's really no words. Like he's.
You think justice was served, like dying from a heart attack?
I don't think not at all. Like no, he needs to be like brutally tortured and like.
There you go.
Yeah, like
Capital punishment.
I want him like tortured, like he tortured all those little kids. Like, oh my goodness.
I would have also taken the firing
Nothing.
squad as an answer. They can just shoot him down. Honestly, he's just a gross dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, definitely.
Like nothing good ever came from that individual. Like I feel like what has he contributed to society, and why did he
Sitting
keep
on
getting away
kids?
with it? Yeah,
Yeah, shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I got one last question for the both of you.
That's good.
So, who's hungry?
Dude, I ain't fucking hungry now. Shit.
I'm just playing. No, I want to, real quick, just then, before we wrap it all up on him, do you guys got any last thoughts, opinions on him about his story?
I'm definitely gonna like dig a little. I do want to know more about him now, like a little more about his background. But like, yeah, I remember reading about when I first heard his name, I heard about the cookbook. Like I think that might have been one of those like key points to him, like the recipes with kids. And there was I think an artist, G.G. Allen, that wrote songs based on like things that he did. Like he was another sicko, but yeah.
No. I would be doing the opposite. There's no fucking way I'm talking about this dude again. There's no way. I can't talk about people like this, or even like read about it. Forget
it's not like to glorify him or anything like that, but it's still like again.
It's interesting.
How does the mind like go there?
Well, it definitely stands out. Like we said,
definitely.
There's nobody in history, I think, that they have a record or proof of somebody literally writing down recipes on killing kids and cooking them.
And cooking them and serving them up as burgers and shit. Fuck that.
Disgusting. Can you imagine? You know how? Okay, let me tell you. If I went to a neighbor's cookout, right, and they were serving food, and let's just say I happened to eat some of this stuff, and it started to taste a little funny and stuff, and if I found out that this person or whoever it was serving
up kids,
I would punch this dude.
Personal judgment. They see. Thank you.
I would feel so sick.
Yeah.
It's absolutely.
I feel like I would know. Like I feel like this isn't any. But I've also like had like venison and like like different kinds of meats and stuff like that. I feel like I would know. Like maybe there's something that tells you like this is human. You don't eat it. Like
I don't know. How would you know?
I don't know.
What if they were?
I don't know.
Nah, it's cool. It's just chicken.
Well, I ain't eating at no cookouts anymore. It's chicken. Forget it.
Anything else about this guy?
Justice is served. Even by heart attack, that man is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's dead. He's gone.
That's good. Good for the earth that this man no longer exists.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But he didn't suffer. Like he put so much pain and suffering on so many people. Like,
right.
And he got off like I feel like, I mean,
Well, that's what I was saying. I feel like a lot of these examples of these serial killers or people in general that do really horrific things. It's more often than not that we hear that they go to prison, and that's how, you know what I'm saying?
And that's how they live out their life.
yeah.
And it's always by natural causes, by heart attack, just die in their sleep and whatnot. And
Right.
and they did fucked up shit out on the outside, you know? And so it does kind of make you a little mad.
Right.
That's fair.
And did any of these, like, do you know if any of these families got like any compensation, if they got like something out of him passing? So they lost their kids, and then it's like that extra thing of knowing that your kid has been served as food to someone
Like,
else.
you can't even bury their
You
body.
can't bury
like,
their body. That's
like,
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's horrible.
It's
to think
horrific,
of.
man.
To even
The people that have to go to their own grave knowing that it happened to their kid like that.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, but no, I'm
Yeah. Sick man.
very sick.
Right.
Sorry, bro. Very
Sick story, but one that stands out, like we said, the Cookbook Killer, Nathaniel Bar-Jonah.
terrible.
But all right, we're gonna wrap it up here shortly. But Kim, once again, thank you for agreeing to come on. It's All Relative.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
No problem.
You know, we like to say that we're creating art and making history. So thank you for being a part of it.
Yes, man. Yes, sir.
You want to shout out or plug anyone, anything in particular? No?
I'm like,
No shout outs? It's all good.
Okay. You got any social media accounts in case fans want to get at you?
Kimberley Liesel on Instagram, and I think it's the same on Facebook.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to hit them with your social?
That's Retro Show on Twitter, RETROSHO. If you see the Kermit, you know it is me. Flip it and reverse it to Show Retro on YouTube, and you will see me there. I am creating retro gaming content, and next year we'll be doing some garage sale finds. We're going to be filming, put the GoPro on. We're going to be finding stuff out there. We'll be bringing some entertainment to you.
Nice. Sounds good.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Excited. I'm excited to find some M&M things for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My man.
For real.
All right. You guys can always find me at Josh_Toth3. That's my Instagram. My Facebook is Joshua Toth. We want to shout out our editor, YO, a.k.a. Jackson Wallace.
Shout outs, brother.
Yeah, we appreciate all the work you put in, bro. Also, big shout out to Stellar Sound and Media. Anyone looking for studio time or want a music video filmed, contact stellarsoundandmedia@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, huge shout out to all our day oneers. Thank you for all your love and support. We see each and every one of you, and we love and appreciate you.
That we do.
The message option on Anchor.
So there's that message option on Anchor. If you have it on your phone, you just press message and you can leave us a 30 to 45 second message. It could be whatever you want. It could be questions about any of the previous videos or podcast episodes, rather. You can leave us some critiques. You can tell us that we were shit, and we will respond to you in kind. But we will respond in the next episode. We're playing a recording of whatever you say, and we will respond to it live on the next recording.
Yeah, so use that audio message.
Please.
Even if I am interested, I would like to hear it. If any fans use it, let us know where you're from.
Right,
Or
for
where you're
real.
listening. Where's the location? We're interested on that.
Right,
so
we need that geolocation for real.
use that message option, please.
Right. And also just shout outs to everybody that's listening. I know there's a lot of people listening that is not even in the States. So, we got Canada, Norway. We're getting like a couple of people in Thailand. I don't know nobody in Thailand, but shout outs to Thailand. The UK, Australia, New Zealand, Ecuador. So it's all over the place. So shout outs to all of you guys. We love you. A lot of the topics that we talk about is typically within the US. So if you do find some interest in this, if you want to leave a message and let us know if, for example, this episode, if you know of something similar that's in another country, we would love to hear about that. Same for the previous episode, that one guy that is on the loose, the Brian Laundrie. So if you guys know about that, that would be interesting. So shout outs to you guys. Thank you for listening. at any rate, and hopefully we can bring more content to you guys as well.
Absolutely. We love all of you and we appreciate
We
you.
appreciate it for real.
So, finally, please remember to find us on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, and Google.
And Google.
And by using the platform of your choice, please subscribe, follow, share, comment. If you're using Apple, please take a few seconds and just leave a quick review and hit that 5-star rating.
Bless.
That helps us out immensely. It helps spread the word more throughout Apple about the podcast. So it's beneficial to us here, and we would really appreciate if you guys do that.
Right.
So, all right, my man, that's a wrap. Kim, thanks again.
Thank you, Kim.
All right, everyone, stay safe, stay kind, stay proud and powerful, and we'll see everyone soon. Peace.
Peace out.
From my dog, like he sent me like the ain't cool. Then she go down.